We're here at SHOT Show. I'm here with the one, I just met her 5 minutes ago and we shared an insane mutual connection, but I'm here with the one and only Amy Robbins from Alexo Athletica, the CEO and owner.
Okay, hold on, I have to high five you. I realize that this is not videoed, but high five for that because nobody ever says it right.
So listen, we just bumped into each other at the Glock booth and I'm hearing this story. I'm eavesdropping with the one and only Michelle Viscuzzi. And I hear her say, you know, thank you for this connection, da-da-da. And it turns out to be a mutual friend of mine and now Michelle's, Kat Zingano.
It's basically your connection.
My connection. So she was profiteering off of my connection. So Kat, if you're listening, apologize.
Do you want me to send you some leggings too? Because
I don't want
can.
Leggings.
I mean.
So we got to talking and we realized we shared a bunch of mutual friendships and everything else, and a lot of cool connections in the industry. But tell me and tell all the listeners, how did you get here and how did you get in the industry?
Well, that's actually the greatest thing about SHOT Show is you can think you know everybody and then you run into somebody that you've literally never met, you've never heard of me.
But you should have. But you should have.
I feel like we should totally have known each other and already been listening to each other's podcasts. But I got into the industry about 5 years ago I started hosting a show for NRA TV. Cool. Which is really, I've always been a big, passionate Second Amendment person, but it wasn't necessarily my lifestyle. I had guns at home, but I didn't know anything about them. I wasn't a shooter. I just lived in the country and had guns. You know, thought needed to protect myself, I've got them. So it was very interesting that I got cast for this position, hosting NRA TV, not knowing anything about guns, right? And lo and behold, that really was kind of what they were trying to do. They were trying to, so there's a lot of women like me that are Second Amendment supporters that want to get into firearms, but we just kind of feel like we might be blocked out of it. And so it was my journey into this world of firearms. So that's how I got my start. And then fast forward a couple years after that, I was training for a marathon and got harassed several times and followed and realized I want to get my license to carry. And then where am I going to put it? And that's how I designed my line, and that's how I started my company, Alexo.
Now, do you feel like the industry was begging for that? Because I've said this for a long time, this industry is starving for a good woman to come in and come out with really good product.
Yeah, so that was the first thing I realized. So my background was in the fashion and entertainment industry, and so obviously when you're in fashion and entertainment, like clothes and style, that was a very big part of my life. So when I got into the gun world, I quickly realized going out to the gun range, my options were very limited. And if I didn't want to look like your average gun girl, I wanted to wear like my normal clothes, but it wasn't really functional for this new lifestyle that I was getting into. And so, yeah, I saw huge white space in the market for females. And to combine, ultimately what I wanted to do was make this whole idea of the gun world not so scary to the everyday average woman who, there's millions of us out there that believe in the Second Amendment. We're getting our concealed handgun license by the droves. I mean, it's up 500% since 2007. And who's speaking to them? Levi's isn't speaking to them. Lulu's not speaking to them. Nike's not speaking to them. So and then the clothing industry that's within the gun industry is kind of alienating. It wasn't very cute. There wasn't a lot of good options. So I wanted to just fuse my background and my new passion, and this is what we came up with.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. Now, breaking into this market's always interesting, and as you're talking, I'm listening and I'm taking it all in. It's not easy. It's a bit of a boondoggle. Did you feel as a woman like, geez, this is fucking crazy, like how am I gonna break into this market? Like,
yeah.
And at what point did you feel like you had something? Like what was the aha moment that you're like, all right, we have something here?
My aha moment was
when 511 knocked you off, or?
No, actually 511 still hasn't. Like what happened was, yes, it was very difficult to break into this industry because people didn't understand me. I'm not a normal girl that wants to go out to the range. You know, I had no military or law enforcement background. I would get made fun of all the time when I would show up in Lulu leggings to the gun range, wearing my Ray-Bans, wearing just like my normal clothes. And I was like, this is really weird that they're making fun of me for just wanting to incorporate something so common to the American lifestyle into my everyday life.
Right.
Like, why do I have to change who I am to be a poser tactical person? I'm not gonna do that. And, you know, so the aha moment for me when we launched this brand was the day that we launched it, getting picked up on every single major news outlet, from Maxim magazine to Vogue to Fox News to everything that was mainstream that is never covering anything that's in the firearm industry. And I was like, we're doing something here. We're crossing over in a way that has not been done before in the gun industry, and I'm excited to pave that way.
I feel like in every startup, though, I mean, there's in anything you do, like whether it's fucking go to the buffet, whatever it is, there's an aha moment. Like you say, either this is good, or we have something, or it's really working out. In any relationship, so you have kind of like an aha moment where it clicks. I think, you know, this business, and I'm thinking and I'm processing everything you're saying, and I've said it on this podcast, is starving for a woman to come in with the right ideas, the right business structure, because there's just not enough of it. It's such a cock-dominated business.
Yeah.
We all know that. That's not a secret, right? So a woman has to come in and design something, and who better than somebody with no background to come in and design a concealed carry line that suits the needs of the carrier.
Yeah.
You know, I know, you know, like Marcy's circling us right now taking pictures. She would wear the leggings to conceal carry. You know, it's like, it's one of those things. To have good product that fits the demographic you're trying to talk to, and it's specifically designed by someone that's using it in that capacity, that wasn't, you know, wearing a drop leg holster.
Right.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Well,
why hasn't it happened, and why are you the first? Because I always say this, there's no fucking way I'm the smartest person in the room. Why did you become the smartest person in the room?
I don't know if I am the smartest person in the world. I'm definitely not. But I just had a need, and I realized, okay, why does Lululemon do so well? Well, they make your butt look great.
Right.
Every woman who puts on a pair of Lululemons, whether they actually worked out that day or not, feels skinnier. They feel like they're part of a community. So it's pulling all those factors in together. I think sometimes in the gun industry, this is just my observation, I think we get caught up in having to do things the way that it's always been done. And we do that because we think, well, it's working. It's multi-billion-dollar industry. It must be working. And then instead of innovating, we're just copying each other. You know, we get ripped off all the time on our products and our marketing stuff. And I'm like, I want them to be more, but I want the gun industry to succeed and be original. And be creative.
I had somebody reach out to me recently about patents. That's a conversation that comes up a lot. And I said, look, the gun industry, you have to understand something. People are going to steal it first, and then they're going to pay you. So it doesn't work that way. Like, nobody's going to buy your patent.
Right.
And it's just one of those deals. Like, you have to take it to market, show viability, and then you're going to end up, they're going to say.
Be the first to market and make a big splash has been, for us, like, that's how we've had so much success, is we did things differently. Also, our marketing is different. I come from a fashion background. I wanted my stuff to look editorial. I wanted models wearing our stuff. I wanted women that speak to the normal, everyday woman who is not out. They don't know what the coolest ear pro is or eye pro. They have no idea what any of that is. So looking at the marketing that works in the mainstream and make it very different from what you're seeing in the firearm industry, it's been very successful for us. You know, I don't know if there's a magic formula. We didn't set out to...
I think, you know, I've been saying it, and we were brushing on it when we were chatting at the Glock booth. This industry's ripe. What hasn't clicked here yet, and it's starting to, with people like Hoist coming in, and we talked about Cat, is, I've always said this, and I preached it to the NRA for about an hour yesterday to some mutual good friends, and I said, you know, what nobody's realizing is the enemy of our enemy is our friend. So gun control being the enemy, our friends are people in the MMA community, people in the action sports community, communities you and I can relate to and understand, because we look at outside the box. Like you said, you come in with a fashion background. I try to explain to some of these brands, yes, they weren't a special ninja operator, a boperator, but they have an insane background in fighting combatives, things that involve defensive tactics, things that involve areas of our expertise, but they're really still in our realm. And they're people that will resonate with our crowd, because tell me someone who carries a gun but hasn't watched a UFC fight or a boxing match or something, or drank a Red Bull or drank a Monster. Why is it so hard for that to penetrate into the gun community? Or resonate with the right people?
I I don't know. Again, I think we're falling into that mindset of it's always been done this way. And it's just gonna take trailblazers going out and doing it and showing that it has to be done. Because I remember when I first started this idea, people laughed at me. They told me this could never be done. This was a dumb idea. Why are you even gonna attempt to take concealed carry mainstream? Why are you doing that? And I'm like, fine, if you guys aren't gonna do it, I'll go do it. And I'll spend my own money doing it, and I'll figure out how to rally the millions of people who are out there. We're on the same team. Ultimately, these 2A people who are out there fighting for our right to defend and protect ourselves, like, they're out there. And they might not be members of the NRA. They might not have ever heard of NSSF. You know, like, they might not have even heard of SIG or Glock or the things that we take for granted being in the industry. They don't even know that we exist, and we don't spend a lot of time going to reach them because, well, why? We already make good money within the gun industry. So
I love what you're throwing down, because you're into so many areas that I'm passionate about, and I could spend all day on that topic first. But I want to talk too about a podcast and why that hasn't hit deeper in this industry. There's a handful of people doing audio, and you and I both know this. I don't even have to say it. Audio is coming in huge. Your Apple Watch, Google Play, all the different Alexa, all the different devices that are going to be in the home. I sat down and I spoke to a key executive in the business, and I said, do you think there's going to be 3, 5, or 7 audio devices in a home by 2025? Just throw a number out there. And they said, they sat back and they thought about it, and they were like, well, I haven't thought about that. I'm like, why not? I'm like, you can buy everything you want right off your Apple Watch. Why haven't you considered audio? And why is that so hard?
Because this is the only thing I can think of. When we started our company, I noticed that everybody else that was kind of in my space, you know, like doing apparel for women or concealed carry apparel, they were all on Facebook, all right? Yeah, is Facebook big? Yes. Is that where a predominant, like, group of the people that are already in the firearm industry are focusing their time and effort? Yes. Are the people that I'm trying to reach even on Facebook? Most of them don't even have a Facebook account. So I'm looking at the new waves of media that are coming in, saying, if we don't reach a younger demographic and a different demographic that is getting 90% of their news from podcasts, from Instagram, now from TikTok, and if we are not utilizing those social media platforms, you're not gonna grow.
Right.
And you know, I did like what NRA TV was trying to do with the digital platform. Like, actually, the
problem is they didn't own it.
I know. But you think about it. What were your old traditional methods of getting media across? TV, Pursuit Channel, like all the things that my dad watch. I grew up watching, like, with my dad, but I wouldn't take the
Jim
time
Shockey and the guy.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking
Shooting USA.
I'm not knocking that stuff because it's needed and there's an audience for it. But we have to be just as relevant as everybody else is, you know, that's not in the gun industry, utilizing all these platforms. And it's just hasn't clicked yet. When I tell people that I have a podcast, they're like, huh?
Who?
Like, what does that mean? How does that add value to my company? And I'm like, it adds tremendous value. Let me show you.
Right. No, I agree. I'm catching everything you're throwing down. I love it. You know, for me, it's been an uphill battle, and I was talking about this over at the Glock booth. I think when Joe came into podcasting, he was really putting a voice behind the MMA community in the beginning. And he, you know, if you go back and you watch those early episodes, he'll tell you they were terrible. And he built a voice behind the community. The biggest mistake I feel we make in our industry is we don't put a voice behind the community. Yeah. It's constantly based on photos, and it's constantly based on cheesy shoot fast videos. Yeah. And I keep trying to tell everybody, go watch billion-dollar brands out there. Go watch Monster TV, go watch Red Bull TV. You don't see a can of Red Bull and you don't see a can of Monster. If you don't get into debranding strategies and you don't get into audio, long form, mid form at least, you're missing the boat.
I love it, yeah.
Because you're not putting the story behind the people. Once you realize the people are real, they're normal, they just enjoy the sport of shooting, they enjoy concealed carry, they enjoy the community.
Yes.
It instantly is going to change the game.
Yeah,
you're
speaking my language.
It's an impossible concept for people to grasp onto, and believe me, I feel you. Like, I absorb everything that you're taking in and saying, and it's just, I have not, Amy, figured out for the life of me why it's such a difficult concept. I had a long conversation with Sig the other day. I'll put it out. I had a long conversation with the folks over there, and I said, you guys have a fucking range. You have a facility. You have the best instructors in the world. You could drop in this model tomorrow and have insane success and produce content for days.
And this is inexpensive content to produce, relatively inexpensive.
No, we just took pictures. We just did, and I've explained this model over and over and over again, and I get it. There's only so many people have the personality to do it. There's only so many people that, I get it. But I go to booths and I meet the marketing people and I see them and I'm like, you can't even put these people on camera. Why are you even hiring them?
Because it's just a different beast. I try to explain what I deal with within the firearm industry, which is very different than the everyday world that I'm used to dealing with entertainment, right?
Right.
I was writing and producing and selling reality shows like before this, and I'm like, this is what we need.
Yeah.
We need a reality show that focuses on like normal gun owners that, I pitch ideas all the time to production companies because I'm like, why aren't we doing cool stuff on actual TV? And I get the political implications. I understand, like, we have an uphill battle.
But why does it have to be about the gun?
Right. Why can't it be about the people and incorporating just it into your everyday lifestyle?
Yeah. It doesn't always have to be, here's a gun.
I know.
Listen.
All about the firearm.
I'll explain something to the entire community without Amy's permission, and I'm sure she'll agree. To anyone listening, nobody cares anymore about a mag dump in the desert. I see one more mag dump in the desert and you think that's the key to selling a gun? You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Do you agree or disagree?
I 100% agree.
I think functionality is important. I think there's a place for that.
Yeah.
I think you can create media that way, but it's a one-off.
I think it is working for a certain group of people. I think what's happened though is that the industry focuses on that group and forgets that there's a large sector. Who does everyone want to reach in the gun industry?
Everybody that doesn't own a gun or repeat buyers.
Or women.
Women. Markets. Different segments they haven't touched yet.
Every single marketing person I meet with is, we want to reach women. How do we reach more women? And I'm like, well, are you willing to change your strategies and are you willing to actually listen to what I'm saying here? Because I am a woman and I know like what reaches me. And you're right, mag dumps in the desert, I'm not going to go buy that firearm, and
it's not a selling point.
But I don't know if they just don't think that it's a big enough market to start pumping money into. Like they think women, I think there's like preconceived stereotypes. Women want to go buy handbags and shoes, not guns. But that's not what we're seeing. I'm seeing them, okay, well, yeah, they're still gonna buy their handguns and their handbags and their shoes, but guess what? They're gonna ask their husband to either go buy them a gun or they're gonna save their money and go buy their own.
I know where you're going, yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if they think that it's not worth it or it's just too hard to make that mental shift, and they're not willing to change their tactics for it. I don't know.
I want to ask, you have a company in this business. When you walk around, I ask every guest this, who that you don't work with, don't be a homer, who do you walk around and you say, geez, I really like what they're doing it right? Who do you see out there that you kind of admire? You look from afar, you're like, I like what they're doing over there.
From a marketing standpoint?
Give me marketing and product. Separate them because you have to.
Marketing and product, and I'm not paid by any of these companies. I don't have any formal endorsements with any of them. I do like what Springfield's been doing. I do like
really cool marketing campaigns.
With their marketing campaigns.
I thought Sharon, they did a good job over there.
With the Hellcat. Yeah. And I was really pleased to see, I do know Stephanie, who she's one of my good friends.
Stephanie,
So I liked that they are listening to Stephanie
I
and
kept
bringing
the box,
in,
I didn't touch it. It was a nice initiative. It was a nice campaign.
That was an awesome branding that they did on it with working with Voltec.
The follow-up is suspect. Note to Springfield.
Okay, but question. That's a great point. So now what? So now what do we do with this? Like, you sent all of the influencers this awesome gun. What do we do? Like, we want to help you take the message further. What do we do?
Shitty follow-up.
And so
I'll walk over there and say it to them. They know I will.
Yeah,
craptastic follow-up.
But I like what they're doing with their campaign. I thought their campaign was great. I loved seeing Stephanie running down the road. Now, of course, she was wearing Alexo, but I like that she had the Springfield and them showing women practical applications for their new concealed carry firearms.
And I'll put a disclaimer. The reason I say the follow-up and the finish line of the campaign was a little it's because I don't think they really had a formula for the end game of what they wanted people to do. Obviously post, but I would have liked to have seen some level of a breakdown of, geez, we'd really like to see this, we'd really like to see that, and maybe some follow-up after.
Do you think it's, but I like that they're one of the first ones to really utilize influencer marketing. We talk to other companies and they don't quite understand influencer marketing yet.
I got a deck on it, I'll give it to you. I publish it on LinkedIn, I don't hide anything.
I mean, I get influencer marketing, it's how we built our business, but I'm saying, like, what I like about Springfield is that they're testing the waters. They're dipping their toe into new territory that has traditionally not been explored by the gun industry. And I think they're gonna fine-tune their strategy a little bit more once they see, okay, we have this product in the hands of people with millions of people reach.
At least it was a campaign.
Agreed.
Now, who do you like product-wise?
Product-wise, I'm a big SIG fan. I do love, I mean, my everyday carry is the 365. Love that. I used to be a Glock fan, and then I switched to the SIG once I could get a higher capacity and a smaller frame. I liked that. So, you know, and SIG makes some really pretty guns too, ladies. I know y'all have seen me post about that rose gold P938, which is amazing.
Right.
So, you know, I think they make really pretty products. They're engineered where I've never had any issues with them. I know they had to, that first generation of the 365, work out a couple of kinks, but I've never had any problems with mine.
So I grew up 30 miles from SIG, super close relationships with folks there. I love that they've almost seamlessly pushed into having a complete line.
Yeah.
You can go there and buy a rifle. You can go there and buy a suppressor. You can go there and buy an optic.
Yep.
You can go there and buy a pistol. Who else in the industry does it as seamlessly?
No one off the top of my head.
So they're doing it right. So you're absolutely right.
SIG is doing it right.
Yeah, they're doing it. They're getting products to market. Now they're in the bolt gun game.
Yeah.
And they're gonna blow the fucking floor off the bolt gun game. And the reason I say floor is because it's a race to the bottom in that market. When Jay Allen hit the scene and SAC and they were trying to do $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 bolt guns, it kind of fizzled, and it fizzled because that is a very finite niche. And I said for a long time, the company that gets into this for under $2,000 is gonna kill the game.
With a good product.
Yeah, because how many people really go on these deep backcountry hunts? It's not a large amount. And you can't fight for 50 and 100 people and expect to make millions. It's not, it's just not there. There's not enough meat on the bone.
Yeah.
So they get into the game with that collapsible, simplified 6-pound system with the cross system, and it's a logical thing to do. And the price point at $1,700, you know, I mean, you can't buy an action for $800. You can't buy an action. So it's a logical step. So I think the things that they're doing are really smart.
Sure.
It's a one-stop shop. I think their online retailer experience could be a little bit better and could be different, but I mean, shit, you can shoot holes in anything. So I think that they're doing a really good job with their product line. So yeah, that's amazing insight.
Yeah.
I mean, we could spend all day.
We really could, like, breaking down all of this. We'll have to do it offline.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna fucking record it. I'm not controversial, but I'm not afraid to say what's on my mind. Who has a good product but is just getting it really wrong marketing? Incredibly wrong. Be critical for a second.
Yeah, you know, I would like to see Mossberg do things a little bit differently. I would like to see, Kimber. Speaking of, I'm sitting up here. I've always liked Kimber's marketing. I like their brand.
I actually think that's funny. We could debate that. I actually think the opposite.
Really?
Horrific product,
Really? Well, okay, well, I did have a lot of problems with my Solo, actually.
Horrific product, right? Horrible. And I think okay marketing, they could do a lot better because it's a good-looking product.
That is true.
Functionality is the issue.
What I'm also thinking of with Kimber that I like that they kind of stepped into alternative self-defense as well. I know, obviously, I carry my firearm every day, but I like their pepper blaster.
I'll ask the question, and I'd go to the booth and ask them now, because I have. We both know who runs their marketing, really runs their marketing, just like we both know who really runs FN's marketing. What's the plan?
I don't know.
Do you know? I don't know.
No,
What's the direction?
I have no idea.
But we know what SIGs is.
Yeah.
Right? We understand their direction.
We know who they're going after.
We know who
what
they're going
doing.
after.
Yeah.
What's their plan?
I don't know, but
I can't figure it out.
I think Kimber, like the one thing that I see for them, and here's some free advice, Kimber, on meeting the women market. They have this really cool.
I agree. They could go there. The problem is everything that they do is like a one-off. Like what I would say is get in bed with somebody like you and do a plan and go in a direction and have a focus and have a cross-promotional.
You guys hearing that? Because we've discussed this numerous times.
So knowing who runs their marketing, everything's kind of like a one-off.
Yeah.
It's like, we did a crazy video, we sold 10,000 guns. We sucked for 3 months. We did a crazy video, we sold 10,000 guns. We sucked for 3 months. Have a plan.
Yeah.
Have a plan.
I agree. Have a plan, and have a plan, especially when you're wanting to sell to more women. I feel like they need to get a little bit more intimately involved with who true influencers are. I'm not talking about people with large followings. Large followings mean absolutely nothing to me when I am looking at influencers that I want to work with or ambassadors that I want to work with. I'm talking about people who are truly out there making a difference, living the lifestyle, moving the needle, as you say, and finding out who those key people are that are making moves within the industry and partner up with them. We've got to stop focusing on the same handful of people.
I think a company that's poised to get it really right really quickly with a couple of moves because they have the right players. Like I could walk you down right now to them and you could have a marketing campaign like that. Taurus.
Explain that to me, please.
So, fair product, right?
Okay.
Fair product.
It was my first gun.
Price point's great.
Yep.
That's why it's your first gun.
Yeah.
So, they have 2 or 3 or 4 key people there that get it really, really well, okay? They just need something to bring it all together. They're right on the cusp.
Yeah.
David's doing beautiful things over there. You could go over right now, sit with him. He'd be like, what do you need? How can I get it to you? Very open. Show me what you want to do. Let's lay it out. Let's communicate. They have some of the pieces.
Yeah.
They're just lacking the brand recognition.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
they're trying.
Got a bad rap.
Got a bad rap.
I would say it's still not a great rep.
But they have 2 things I look for. Bandwidth, the ability to produce.
Okay.
Okay? So they can produce the product.
Yeah.
And they have enough of a line that they can touch a bunch of different markets. Decent revolver, right?
That was what I had.
Decent revolver.
A 38 special.
Cool looking, marketable. Decent revolver. Inexpensive pistols. Okay? Caters to a certain market. If somebody was to say to you, where can I go get a gun around $300 that's reasonable, that will shoot and isn't going to break my piggy bank and I don't care about it? I can throw up my leggings and not give 2 shits.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to go buy a Kimber, Amy.
And that's very true.
Not everyone's going to go buy a Colt.
You wouldn't go run with your Kimber or your rose gold SIG.
So the average girl that's like, I'm going to buy 1 gun and I got a $300 budget.
They're probably going to go look at Ruger. And they're probably going to look at Taurus.
And who does it better than, between Ruger and Taurus? It's a dogfight. It's a dogfight.
Honestly, I've never owned a semi-automatic Taurus. I had the Ruger LCP, and I don't think that's fair because that was like I still have the gun.
Well, at that time when Ruger was white hot with that LCP,
Right.
Taurus didn't have the line they
Taurus
have now.
has since upgraded the trigger. They've upgraded a lot of things. I just don't have the upgraded version. But it is one of my favorite guns to run with because it is so small, it's light, it's compact.
Taurus is an intriguing one to me.
Okay.
Just because I know the internal structure and I know some of the players, so they're very intriguing to me, and I think they are poised.
You should go meet them and talk to them because honestly, Taurus just doesn't come to mind. Nothing against them.
Texting them as we speak.
They just don't come to mind because I never see them. I don't see anything on their social media. They don't pop up in my feed. They're not kind of on the forefront of my mind all the time. So maybe that says that there's a lot of opportunity for them to kind of get in front of people.
Send in the text. Now.
Awesome.
I think that they're poised and they have the right, not all the right, they have some of the right people in place. Now, another company I think is doing some really cool things. This is a whole different market, but I think they're set to encroach in some areas. I mean, I love what Vertex has done the last 4 or 5 years. I think they've done some really, really cool stuff. I do see some of the redeeming qualities of Kimber, so I understand where you're coming from. And I don't want to close the door on them. I just think they have to gravitate towards that female market and be willing to accept it. I
agree, because I think they have some really pretty products and really good products.
I'm going to take the Tony Sentmanat Real World Tactical answer, and I'm going to say it's a very expensive product and it doesn't speak to enough people. So coming out with an inexpensive option that runs,
that's true,
that has functionality, I think would make a lot of sense.
It would. And they also have, I'm going to say it again, this Kimber Pepper Blaster that I love for women who are not ready to carry a firearm yet. This thing is great because it's kind of shaped like a gun, so you start getting in your head, hey, I want to carry something on my body that has a trigger, that has a slight trigger guard. And I think it's a great gateway for younger women to get into firearms, and I don't see them push the Kimber Pepper Blaster a whole lot. What are college women carrying? It's always spray mace, right? Because every time I talk to college women, they don't even know that Kimber has this Pepper Blaster. Why aren't you, Mark? Why doesn't every college woman know about the Kimber Pepper Blaster?
I'm going to tell you why, Amy. Because knowing who we both know who runs the marketing, they're not dialed into that market.
But
it doesn't exist.
Why don't they listen? I don't understand why they don't listen.
To them.
Yeah.
Because they've had a lot of success in other areas and they're not willing.
Again, you're right. You're right. But
I'm 1,000% right.
I know you are.
And I get it. I have good friends.
I know. It's frustrating.
Fuck me, right? I have good friends. But I'm 1,000% right. They're not tapped into that space.
It's more
because there's a lot of guys that got into this market and got into this area and they said, geez, I was Special Ninja Forces for 9 years and I know everything.
But it's frustrating because I know the millions of women that need self-defense tools and they need good options, and dads will buy this stuff up for their young women. We just have to push it out there and get these really cool products that nobody else has in their hands. And it makes me sad because I just don't like seeing women defenseless. I really don't. I want to see everybody have a really great quality product that is easy to conceal and keep on their body. So that's why I'm so passionate about this.
One more question. When you walk around this show, what are you looking for?
This year, totally different. I'm only here for 2 days, so it's literally like meetings and friends. In the past, I want to find, so my platform, my everything that I talk about is to women. It is about concealed carry. That is the number one thing on my list. Something that's finding the new, most reliable, easy to conceal, good price points. I'm looking to show my audience, the people that follow me, the women that trust me, what some of the new products are that they've never heard of before. So I love to walk around and bring attention to, like last year it was 2 years ago with the 365. Everybody was very excited about that. Coming out, wanted to go shoot it at SIG Media Day, get their hands on it, talk about the pros, the cons, so I'm always just looking for great products that I can recommend to people.
The million-dollar question is, though, is it a small product downstairs? Is it a niche product? Is it buried in a hole that we haven't found yet?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most of it.
Where do we find it?
You got to go. You have.
No, what I'm getting at is, where's the innovation? And I ask that because people ask me all the time. They say, well, there hasn't been any innovation in the gun market, and I say, well, I've seen tremendous innovation in the soft goods market, things you're doing, bags, stuff like that. So what I'm getting at is, where is it? Where have you seen it? And if you haven't, where would you like it to be?
Good question. I would like to see, I thought that it was very innovative for these companies, SIG, Springfield, to come out with higher capacity, smaller frame, subcompact firearms that don't malfunction, that aren't hard to shoot. I liked that because back in the day, what Glock 43 was about it was what you had.
It was all you had.
It was all you had. And you got 6+1.
And you had a shield.
And you had the shield. And I have both of those firearms, and they're both great firearms, but they're now not my go-to options because we've been able to figure out like how to put smaller frames, higher capacity. I like that. I would like to see more options like that for women. I am not a big woman that walks around and looks for interchangeable grips and change up the color and customize the color of my gun.
You mean you're not at-home gunsmithing?
No, and I don't really care if it's pink or blue or purple. Like those things I don't care about. I know there are some women that like want a cute gun, and I think that's great. I think there's a market for that. But I would like to see more companies coming out with those kind of options with the female market in mind. That doesn't just slap pink on it and say this is for a woman.
Is that insulting to you?
Yeah, it is a little bit. It is because the marketing stops there. They think we made it pink, women are gonna come to us, they're gonna buy it, and I'm like, but people don't even know you have a pink
And it surprises
gun.
me that you're a fan of Kimber saying that, because I feel like sometimes they slap pearly grips on stuff and then it doesn't run.
They do. Those aren't even the ones I liked. Like I thought the Solo was like really sexy looking, and I just had the
very marketable.
It's very marketable, and but then the problem with the Solo was I just had a lot of issues with it, and it was a very expensive gun. So I would like to see things that run. I would like to see things that are fun to shoot, easy to shoot, I would like to see more of that. And I think we're going to start seeing more companies. I mean, Mossberg just came out. What was the, forget the name of the model that they just came out with.
I know what you mean.
And good for them, because they have not had handguns in a long time. So people are seeing that the market is there, but I would like to see them couple this innovation with a good marketing strategy.
The problem with that,
masses.
The problem with that Mossberger scenario is, and I mean, we could walk down and say it to them. They need to go and see what Springfield did. Nobody shot it.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that shot it. I don't know a soul that shot it. I don't know anyone that's held it.
Get it in the hands of people.
You gotta get it in a few people's hands. I'm not saying everybody deserves a free gun, but you gotta get 50 of them out there, 100 of them out there. You have to talk to people. I don't know who they're talking to. So.
Well, that to me is just basic now for the gun industry. If you're not getting it into the right people's hands, what are you doing? What marketing efforts are you really doing? Are you wasting all your marketing budget on Facebook ads?
You can't just send a pile of guns to Iraqi veteran and expect that to solve the problem.
No.
I love them, but I mean, that's not the solution.
Yeah.
So, it's finding the answer. I mean, we could do this all day.
I know.
You and I, we could do this all day. I like this. We're gonna have to do this again.
It's because you get it. I love your branding mind, your marketing mind, and it's.
Well, I think we see things eye to eye. There's a lot in the industry I don't agree with. There's a lot I like, and I think it's like a giant ship in the night trying to turn. And I think that there are some innovative, different companies. Like I said this the other day to somebody. They brought up like Riton Optics and what Brady's doing over there, and I said at least the fucking guy's trying. I'm like, he's putting a lot of different people in his booth. He's trying different things. I'm like, you have to understand something. There's people out there that are trying. They're trying to get into different markets. They're trying to do different things. I don't know if optics is the right vehicle, but they're trying.
It's a start.
And there's a greater good. So you have to start somewhere. I mean, give me a break. So I really can appreciate your thought process on a lot of things, and I'm glad we connected. I'm gonna definitely make an effort to check out the product.
Thank you.
Let everybody know where they can find you and where they can look you up.
Yep, so we are all online. We're all e-commerce. We aren't doing any retail right now. And so it's all at our website, Alexo, that's Alex with an O, Athletica.com. And we're on, primarily Instagram is like our biggest platform. But we are on Facebook as well, both at Alexo
You have
Athletica.
to get on YouTube.
Yeah, I know it's the small business. It's the challenges of being a small business and everyone being spread so thin.
Yeah,
so
at least a few videos you have to get on YouTube.
We are. We've got a page. It's not great. We don't update content a ton, and we know we need to. You know, TikTok is the one that I've got much younger people working for me, and they all want to push us to get on TikTok, and which is fine because what we're trying to build is for the next generation.
What's the next product?
The next product, we're actually launching some really cool stuff for spring. We actually have a skirt that's coming out. It's a mix between athletic and professional. So it's going to be able to, for women, and it has the built-in capability to carry. And
I'm going to make a suggestion right here on live air.
All right.
So you have to move fast on it. I've said this before. Don't get closed-minded and just think about the gun.
Absolutely.
Have other options. Like I said this before, a competitor had come out with leggings. A bunch of people have done it, and I said, yeah, but it's just a place to put a gun. What about like a stowaway pouch? What about something that you can put a med kit or a tourniquet in? I'm like, why is it just the gun?
Ours isn't. So I think that's what separates us from and all the other people. Like if you go look at our marketing, I realize we just met each other. We haven't even looked at each other's pages.
We met each other 41 minutes ago.
If you look at our marketing, so we don't just put it's not about the firearm for our company. It's all about the functionality and carrying the essentials that the woman wants to feel confident in what she needs throughout the day. So whether that's your cell phone, whether that's your lip gloss, whether that's your passport, whether that's your Kimber pepper blaster or your taser or a firearm, we just didn't want to discriminate. So we have anywhere from 6 to 10 pockets within our athletic clothes. So it's a very functional athletic line that really is not just about the firearm, but the firearm is there because we don't want to, because traditionally what you see is you've got pockets on Fabletics, you've got pockets on Lulu, but then they kick out the gun people. And then you've got the gun people that are only focusing on the firearms. So we wanted to, again, fuse the two worlds together and make it the most functional activewear line, which is really a lifestyle line. So whether it's jackets, tops, shorts, we've got skirts, we've got everything. We've got men's line that's going to be coming out. I mean, like we're expanding very, very quickly to just be a functional activewear line.
No, I'm digging it. I'm totally digging it. And I like that you have like hoodies and zip ups and some different stuff. I'm totally digging it. I absolutely love it.
Well, because it's a lifestyle.
And it's super mainstream, which I like.
Thank you.
No, you've done a great
well, you know what?
job.
Little tidbit. The person that's our lead design, like our design team, actually is, I mean, from the major celebrity world. Like he designs for Good America for the Kardashians. He designed Justin Timberlake's line. He designed. Who else did he design? Brooke Burke's line, Catelyn Love. I mean, like, so we've got a stellar team, which is another thing. Like, we hired people outside of the industry. We didn't hire people with any technical background. Crazy enough, this guy is like a big 2A supporter and he loves firearms, so he was happy to work on the project. But he knows nothing about this. His world is the fashion world. His world is knowing what the latest Pantone colors and trends are. And
sometimes that's so refreshing.
I mean, we've liked it. It's been an uphill battle, but we're going for such a different market that we're not competing and fighting for the same people that everybody in the gun industry is. We literally work with groups outside. People ask me all the time, why don't you have a booth at SHOT Show? And I'm like, well,
it doesn't. It's not.
We focus our efforts elsewhere.
There, yeah.
Like we focus our efforts elsewhere.
I could see NRA because you could sell. I could see that as a possibility, but you could sell at it at least.
Well, we have other trade shows. I'm not gonna give away all my secrets, but we have other places that we go and that we sell and that we do very well with, and have a lot of good reception. And it's younger. We're reaching a younger demographic, and so that's the added value that when I talk to these big manufacturers and companies, I'm like, look, we're out there, we're doing it, we're reaching the people that you're trying to get guns in the hands of, the people that are going to continue to fight for our Second Amendment so that you can keep your business going. Like, we got to figure out how to work together. And
I agree. I agree. I totally get it.
Yeah.
So everybody knows where to find you. Gave the website. plug the podcast.
Oh yes, our podcast is called Not Your Average Gun Girls, and I run that with my best friend Emily, who has a great, you would love her blog, you should go follow her, Style Me Tactical. She does an awesome concealed carry lifestyle, or it's just a self-reliant lifestyle blog.
Okay.
And then my personal Instagram is the Amy Robbins. So if you guys want to follow me as well, I don't post the same content on my personal page as I do on the business account. So yeah, so if you guys would go follow us, we would love to get a follow.
And head over, if anyone listening, I know you guys will be downloading this, giving it a listen. Head over and check out the website, check out the IGs, and do a favor, leave a review for the podcast. They're always a struggle to get, so if you guys get an opportunity, make sure you leave reviews.
We would appreciate that,
Yeah, they go a long way, they help. So I appreciate you coming on. I know we met 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know,
it's a lot of
great.
fun. So have a good shot show.
Thank you.
Enjoy, walk around, take it all in. I know I'm going to make an intro for you in a few, but I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
It means a lot.
Well, and, I appreciate it too. This was fun.
Don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything I can do. And thank you guys for listening. I want to thank everyone here. I want to thank everyone at kvar.com. I want to thank everyone at the booth and at SHOT Show. Really appreciate you guys. Go check it out. We are out.